people of the airwaves, and welcome to the Famiriety Hour. Broadcasting live through the cigarette smoke and neon glow of another sleepless night. The joint where we talk games, play games, crack them open, see what makes them tick. And tonight, well, tonight's got trouble written all over it.
That was beautiful.
And shotgun with me tonight is a gent who knows the midnight hour better than most. A fella so familiar with burning the midnight oil, the lamp practically owes him rent. Mr. Curly, how we doing, champ?
Yeah. I didn't know we were doing this. Doing pretty good, see?
See?
So stupid. Oh my god, chat says Buff Suki? Not Suki. Oh man.
I couldn't think of a good way to do a detective noir voice.
That's it. I mean, that's what Natsuki was. She was nothing if not a brilliant detective.
That's true. That's very true. Oh man.
I'm doing good. Ready to review some games.
Let's go. We got two games on the docket tonight. We're gonna review some Mouse P.I for hire, as you can see from our overlay, and we're also gonna talk about Mixtape. Two indie games for the review tonight, as is not tradition so far. We've some big AAA projects, some Capcom projects. We're coming back with some indie games. We are unfortunately down a couple of gents that we would normally have on these reviews. Dennis did not want to have any part in this mouse game, this rat race.
It's like, wow, I hope he's fine. No, he just didn't want to be here.
he just saw this game. He was like, nah. I was like, hey, do you want to just maybe just jump in and host it? And he's like, honestly, dude, I'd rather sleep.
Respect for the honesty,
Respect, yeah. And then poor Enrico was gonna. He played through this game with us, played through Mouse P.I with us, and he was like, "Hey, unfortunately, I got some other things I got to take care of." He's like, "Look, we had to reschedule. You want to jump on?" He's like, "Honestly, no, not really."
He's like, "I want to get this game out of my brain as quickly and as fast as possible." He did record a little video for us, so we'll break that down later. We kind of spilt the beans on how he felt about it, but we'll get there when we get there, Also, just as a heads up, if you're watching the VOD for this video, we're actually posting the Mixtape review on a separate video, so go check that out. There, on the YouTube.
There we go. On the YouTubes. Twitch.tv/Curly Studios is where we're live right now. And then if you're too busy to catch us here tonight live, you can find us at some point this week on youtube.com/@FamaCorp. That's it. I got it. I remembered it. I didn't write it down on the docket tonight, but I remember
Since when did YouTube start the @ for the hyperlinks? I don't like it.
I hate it. I didn't think you could put special characters. Back when we were doing the Sorry We're Late thing, you couldn't put an apostrophe. So we couldn't do weird. I had to do where. Sorry, we're late, or we're late, or whatever.
Yeah, that's confusing. Also, we'll probably break the podcasts out separate too. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, that'll be up on 2 different episodes. So if you are catching one or the other, hop over to the other one next. Yeah, merci.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, let's get cracking. We're going to start off with Mouse P.I. That's the main topic of tonight. The 30s noir detective thriller boomer shooter. Curly, we're going to start off with your thoughts. You and I have talked a bit about this game off air. I'm curious to hear where you landed on it or where you're at with it.
Yeah, so I put maybe 7 or 8-ish hours in it. I'm probably halfway through from what I gauged from Ryan. I'm not complete with the game, obviously, because I just said that. I don't know if I'm coming back to it or not. That's not to say that I didn't enjoy my time with it. It's just, I guess you mentioned it just now, it being a boomer shooter. I didn't even know that was a thing, that was a genre of game. until this game
Yeah.
came out. Like, what this game is very old school Doom. Like that's the like equate that I have for it. I didn't know that was a whole genre of game, and I like old school Doom games, but like I don't know that it's like necessarily what I'm like fiending for currently. So like I guess I'm a little torn on the game, to be honest. My thoughts on it. I will say I did enjoy my time with it, and I love the art style, and I love the performances and the music and everything. The animation is top notch. It's literally just the gameplay loop that like doesn't have its hooks in me. And I don't think it's bad either, because it does play like an old school Doom game. Like it literally is like that 2D, like I guess PNG or whatever, follows your character around. Like the character's always looking at you, but it's like in a 3D environment, but it's a 2D guide looking at you, and you go around shooting them. I do feel like the more I play it, the more I get out of the gameplay. That being said, I'm already kind of burnt out on it. Like, I don't know. If I was to score this game currently halfway through, I would give it at least a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay.
And I will say that the later the game goes, you start to unlock a little bit more, and it starts to get a little more interesting, I feel like, gameplay wise. But like, if I was just grading off of art style and vibes, it'd be like a 9.5 out of 10. But like, the fact that I'm just kind of maybe not into this kind of game just in general, I don't play a lot of shooters. What drew me to this game in the first place was its art direction, art style, and overall vibes, and I had a great time with that. And I definitely don't regret buying it. I think it's well worth the price of admission. I think it's like a $30 title, and it's definitely worth your money. And I hope this studio keeps making cool stuff. Yeah, I don't know. What did you think?
So it's interesting that we're coming off the heels 2 weeks ago of the Pragmata review, where it's almost like the inverse for me. So like Pragmata was like this awesome, like homemade, like I'm gonna bring it back because I used the pasta analogy. It's like this beautifully handcrafted pasta, like they made it from scratch. But then they like bought a can of like ragu off the store shelf and dumped it on top. It's just no sauce whatsoever. This game is your grandma's like 2 generations old pasta sauce recipe, man. Like they cooked this thing all day. And like they hand crushed the tomatoes, man. Like, I'm telling you, this game's sauce is the entire game. The gameplay loop,
it's got cheesy sauce.
I'll give you it's fondue, man. It's the best fondue you've ever had in your life. but yeah, the pasta's overcooked for sure. I think the game's great. I think I'm, especially coming from off like the indies, because I play a lot of indies. Indies are very often a lot of sauce and not a ton of substance, or a lot in one direction and not a ton in the other. But like this game is, the sauce is just incredible. The score it's my favorite soundtrack of the year so far. The year's young, but like this is it won't win soundtrack of the year at the Goaties, but that's not the measuring stick that I care about. Like the noir 30s like soundtrack like thing that they got going on here, the smooth jazz of it all. Like Jack Pepper's theme hits, and they just keep on hitting you with it throughout the entire game. The way they do callbacks to it and the motifs to it, it's so good. I think the art style is one of my. It's the rubber hose like Disney 60s 50s style art style is my favorite personal art style. I love it. I love it for like when Cuphead did it. I love studying old school like UPA style art like this. And I think the gameplay loop unfortunately just doesn't innovate enough to give this game like the score it deserves. Like the game is far too long. Curly, you said you were 8 hours in?
Probably my game clock says right around like 9 or 10, but I know a lot of that is just listening to the music. Like
that's fair. So I clocked out at 24 hours, but I did leave it paused for a bit, so that may be a little bloated.
Yeah,
I think this game needs to be about half the length that it actually is, because either that or they got to innovate on the gameplay loop a little bit more than they did. the progression of gameplay like is really weird as well, because like you're getting some like really monumental upgrades in the back half of this game, and you're even getting some upgrades in like the last hour and a half of gameplay. Like, and then like it's like, oh well, I don't have this. Like, this would have been really cool at the front of the game, but you're introducing this here, and I don't like. It's just missing, and there's way too many encounters. It's like what you talk about with Last of Us 2, where it's like there's just too many encounters here.
That's how I felt. Like, it did eventually start to just kind of drag on, and I'm like, okay, guys, like, I want to get to the next thing, and it's just room after room after room of just swarms of enemies. And like, again, it's not that it's not fun. It's just like, this title I wish was way more snappy in its like pace. Like, and I'm still, I guess, early on enough where I haven't gotten any like amazing upgrades, but I have seen like a couple where I'm like, I agree, where it's just like, I kind of wish this was just maybe like a unlocked from the start type of moveset, or it moved at a quicker clip where you're getting that. And then it's just like, also like, the game almost feels like it's designed around backtracking or coming back to areas, but there's not really any reason to.
You don't ever do it.
Yeah.
You don't ever do it. Like the game. Also, the game just ends when you beat the game. Like, there is no like, hey, go back and collect the stuff you did. Try to 100% the game. No, it's just over.
That's weird.
You can start it back from like right before the last boss fight, but like, there's no reason to go back into the levels. There's nothing. I mean, you can collect the comics or the newspaper articles or the baseball cards, which really cool collectibles. I love how much they focused on the 30s aesthetic of this game. I love all of the references to topical events that were happening in the 30s. Calling World War I the quite big affair tickled me every single time they referenced it.
Yeah. They got a lot of really like cheesy, no pun intended, but like references like to like real history stuff, but also like a lot of like pop culture stuff where they're like random lines or little bits and you're like, that's cute, that's funny. I think it's like well written, but I also am not that invested in the story, to be honest. Like some of the dialogue is like just worth it just because the performance, and like, again, it's a very vibey game where it's just like you got that noir thing, you got the accents from the characters, the way they're talking like this, and it's good. But like at the same time, I'm not like, oh shit, what a cool mystery. Like, I got to figure out what the next story beat's going to be. I was never really like hooked on that, to be honest. I think the story's fine for what it is, but
I think, unfortunately, I think the story is well written. It's just long in the tooth, and it takes a long time to get where it's going, and you lose like track of what's going on so quickly, because the game focuses around like 3 like mysteries that Jack is investigating at different times, and then he's collecting clues, and he does like the cool like corkboard like with string or whatever, tying this evidence together, which is really cool. I wish there was some kind of gameplay mechanic there, instead of just, hey, I'm gonna put this picture up on the wall and then I'm gonna tell you about it, like, or he's gonna tell you about it, and so they got to find a way to make that fun. Unfortunately, that part is like I'm just doing this to do it. Like, there's no real point to it. Like, I already know where the evidence ties to. I already see how these strings are connecting. Putting the pictures on the corkboard is just to enhance the noir vibes, and it doesn't even do that great of a job at that, I don't think.
When they showed that in the trailer, I got really excited for it because I know you haven't played it yet, but Alan Wake 2 does something really interesting with that kind of mechanic where it is like corkboard, shoestring tie things. And like, I think Alan Wake 2's done it better than anything else has. And like, I'm not saying like, oh, this indie game should have innovated on that or anything, but like at the bare minimum, I wish it reached the interesting elements that it did there. Cause like, I almost wish they would have like spent more of the gameplay doing that stuff, making it more interesting than just the boomer shooter stuff. But again, that would be way more ambitious and way more niche for a game as well. But I just thought there would be more detective-y stuff than just that. When it is like a Mouse P.I. kind of game, like set it in the noir thing, you're a detective. It's like, I wish I was actually detectiving more. In a way more fun way, because like if it was just the corkboard and it reads off what's happening, that's not fun. but like more in the Alan Wake 2 style of things would have been cool. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's part of a lot of the reviews that I've seen for this game so far is like this game sold itself differently than what it actually is, which I never saw because like every time I looked at the game, it just looked like a shooter. I guess people thought that it was selling itself as more of a detective style game, and I never really like saw that aspect of it. The things that they try to do to make you feel more detective-y in this game don't really hit. The corkboard, for example, occasionally you'll go through some vents and you got to turn on your flashlight, but like really, it doesn't really do much for you. There's no stealth mechanics in the game. There's no sneaking. I mean, you're not really like searching for clues or anything like that. They're really just kind of ham-fisted, like right there. There's no shot at missing them or anything.
Yeah, to that point, like it is such a boomer shooter that like you can't duck and cover. Like there's no stealth. Like once you're in that field, like you're literally like dodging, weaving. Like in that it is fun for for a time, but like it very much felt like as soon as like I was in the gameplay, I was like, oh, this is what that is. Because I will be honest, like some of the trailers and some of like the preview stuff that I like listened to and kind of latched on before the game released kind of led me to believe it was going to be a little bit of a different game. I don't know if that's the marketing or just me setting up the expectations I saw from the trailers. Because from the trailers, honestly, it does seem pretty action centric. Like it does look like, oh, this is Cuphead in first person in some moments. But yeah, I mean, it is like an expectation whiplash for me whenever I started playing it. At least I was like, oh shit, this is just Doom. Doom
it really is
Doom mouse game.
Yeah, I'm honestly I'm not really a big Doom guy. I've dabbled in them a little bit, but I've never really like gotten in on that gameplay style. And that's the downfall of this game for me is the gameplay. Like the gameplay is it's serviceable. It definitely works for the type of game that it is. I think the gunplay is really fun. I think that the different guns you get in the game are super fun. So I mostly use the James gun, which is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic writing. But there's another one. It's like the one that like dissolves people, and that was, I switched between that and the James gun pretty much the whole game. And it's very much like Pragmata, where there's a lot of different variety in the guns you can get, but like
you kind of upgrade one and you set with it.
Yeah,
they have an equivalent of like a shotgun that I really liked, but like I didn't really dabble too much. Again, like I'm also like a stickler just for the pistol in games, like not the pistol, but like the default gun that you get.
Yeah.
I don't know. I even in like Returnal and stuff, like I like those like default guns just because it is more precise and it is more just like kind of dodge, weave, attack. Like I don't know. Yeah. I didn't really dabble too much though. Like the game is kind of tough actually. Like it is a little bit challenging. Like I was getting my ass kicked for a while. And really the secret sauce to this game is using your melee. Because once I was like, oh yeah, don't forget this is like old school Doom. You gotta shoot, you gotta dash forward and kick their fucking head off. Like that's how you kill every enemy. Yeah. It's awesome. And like I love, again, like we talked about like the substance and the style of the game. Like a lot of the cool death animations, like they have like the little cartoon eyes and the dust that's like evaporated enemies and just dumb shit like that I'm just like, man, this is super charming, super like well animated, and like there's so much character to this game. It's just like again, like I wish that like I was more enveloped by the gameplay. I do think the platforming is pretty fun. Like just because your character moves so fast. Like you could like in a giant room, you could like run and jump and you like jump halfway across the fucking earth. And I was like, damn, this guy got hops. Like this little mouse go flying.
Yeah, I think the movement feels really good. I think the shooting feels really good. I just think there's too much of it. There's just way too much. They needed something to diversify the gameplay just a tad, and I don't think they give you enough here.
Cool bosses.
How did you feel? The bosses are the best part about the gameplay. Like if it was just like gather some evidence and fight a boss without like maybe it's half as many encounters, I think this game would be a lot higher for me. Right? I think I'm set at an 8 right now. And I don't think I'm coming back to it. I did finish the game. I think an 8 is where I'm going to land on it, right above where I put Pragmata, mostly because I don't know, the sauce outweighs how good. Like the gameplay of Pragmata was amazing, but the sauce was really lacking. The gameplay here is serviceable, and the sauce is just extraordinary.
Sauce is delicious, yeah.
It's beautiful.
I found myself like it. I tried not to compare it to Cuphead too much, just because that's like such an obvious one. But I couldn't help it, just because like these are two like games that like have delved into this art style, and I just can't help but be like, man, I wish this was like, just like you said, I wish it was more like a boss rush style, because the bosses are really fun, and I'm like, well, no, now I'm just asking it to be Cuphead, and I'm like, wait, no, that's perfect. Yeah, why not just be Cuphead? Fuck it.
Well, that's what
be
this game is
Cuphead in first
going for.
person. Like,
give me a level select from the top, and
Yeah.
like with some little cool like animated cutscenes. Like the overworld is already taking Cuphead inspiration to begin with. Also, one of my favorite things about this game is the overworld map. I absolutely love driving around with that thing. There's not enough to do up there, like the secrets that are in Cuphead and stuff, but like it is really cool. It's really fun aesthetic. How far did you get in the story? Like, we're not, obviously this isn't a spoiler cast or anything, but like,
I wouldn't even be able to tell you really. Like, there was a lot of points where I was just like kind of skipping dialogue or just bypassing it. I would have to look at a chapter breakdown.
Gotcha. You said you weren't really vibing with the story that much?
Yeah, not really. Like, again, I was invested in the. Oh, sorry, I swapped. We lost our video. Okay, that's back. I was like invested in like the characters, but like at a point I was just like, I just want to get to the next thing. I'm like, I wasn't vibing with the story enough to really latch onto it. Yeah, I don't know.
Fair enough. What I mean, what's the question I'm looking for here? Like, would you still be excited about a sequel for this, or we lost?
Oh yeah, damn, what the hell? Yeah, no, I'd totally be like, I hope there is one. I'd still play it. Like I said, I think I would still recommend anybody try this game, especially if you got the $30. Like, it's a good budgeted title. I would play the sequel for sure. If they announced one, I would definitely finish this game. The only reason why I'm like not like antsy to is just because there's so many games this year that are fighting for attention, and
yeah, for sure.
it's like, it's an unfortunate, but like also like, oh, you know, my lobster's too juicy kind of situation where it's just like, you know, we got so many banger games coming out left and right, and it's just like, unfortunately, if you're gonna release like a 24-hour game, like I gotta be super invested in it, and unfortunately here I'm just not. It could be one that I just pop in and out of, but like, it's also a game I can't play in front of Ace, because I don't know if we mentioned it, it's a little more violent than you would expect from like a 1930s cartoon inspired game.
Yeah, it's quite violent. I played a tad bit of it in front of Arya, and well, as she was falling asleep, I had it on with headphones and stuff. But it's definitely not something I'd play with her. But go ahead.
It just runs into that, like, do I have time for this game? It would be like the game that I would choose to play after like he's in bed and all, and I'm like, probably not. Like, if it was like a Cuphead, like I play that one with him in front of him all the time. It's like, the worst thing about that is like, we're making deals with the devil, and it's like, it's a cartoon hairy devil. In this game, you're literally kicking people's heads off, and you see like cartoon blood spatter and stuff, like, but at the same time, it is a different level of like, oh, that would be more inappropriate, I feel like, than Cuphead.
Interestingly enough, it's supposed to be ink that they're spewing, not blood. I wouldn't know. There's some dialogue references later in the game's like, okay, interesting. The distinction doesn't really matter because the game's in black and white, so you can't tell.
Yeah. No, like I said, I am torn on it, but yeah, I would still recommend it. I, again, do want to play more of it. It's just like, I'm not dying to play more of it, and like, there are other games right now that I am dying to play. So, Sorrows, for example, absolutely. Like, I'm dying to play that game.
Oh yeah, 100%. We want to bring up the our boy Enrico, the Italian Stallions.
Yeah, so Enrico did film and send us a video of his thoughts of the game, his review, if you will. So yeah, let's just pull it up, and we might pause and talk about what his thoughts are, and either agree or disagree. Probably disagree, and we'll go from there. Even with the devil deals, Diego says that's literally a common trope in tales told to kids anyway. Yeah, no, for sure. And like, we watched the Cuphead cartoon, and like. The only reason why I brought it up is because like my wife is a little like more religious than I am, so like it was weird for her to be like having him come up and be like, oh, it's the devil and he's cool, and it's like, well, like, you know, I think it's cute and I get it, but like, you know, it is like one of those things where it's like he's probably going to go to school and talk about Satan, you know, that's probably going to be a problem. But like, again, like without the context there, it's like, well, no, they're talking about this like really funny version of Satan, and he is played very cartoony in that game. So like, I don't know, it's a weird one for sure.
Yeah,
especially in the South. Oh yeah, because you got Well, anyway, we'll go to Enrico's video. I'm gonna, like I said, kind of pause and play. Are you able to hear it, Ryan, or
are you just gonna be listening to it through the stream or?
Through the stream, yeah. I guess if you want to, you'll hear my echo for a bit, but then I'll just let you know as I pause and unpause. So I also have to mute you while I'm playing it, so it's not doubled up. So here we go.
Hey Curly, hey Ryan. I'll try to be concise, and also sorry for speaking not so loud, but it's very late here.
He is
so cool. Raise my volume up to 200.
I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna pause real quick. Can y'all hear him? Because like he's really quiet for me.
I can hear him.
You can hear him fine. I'm still gonna raise up the volume a little bit, because like he's super quiet in my ears. All right. Anyway, resuming.
So my 2 cents on Mouse P.I. Mouse P.I. is a game I didn't really like. I didn't enjoy for a few reasons. And maybe you can split up my recording so you can, I don't know, discuss my points, I guess. The first point would be its genre. I know it's kind of strange to use a game's genre against it, but I feel like Mouse P.I. sort of promised to be something else and not a boomer shooter. I saw, again these days, the first few trailers, and it didn't look like a boomer shooter. It looked like a shooter, that's absolutely sure. But it felt like an adventure game with shooting, sort of like, I don't know, Starfield, for example. A sort of game that would not be constantly pressing a trigger button to shoot bullets at enemies. I was incredibly surprised to find myself in front of a boomer shooter when I booted Mouse P.I. up for the first time.
I'll pause him there because I mean, just going back to my thoughts too. I did have that moment of whiplash when I was setting into the gameplay of the game, and like, oh shit, that's what this game is, and like very quickly you do like learn that that's what it is, and like it doesn't bash away from it at all, because like again the game immediately starts kicking your teeth in, because and it's just like one of those things where like, well, can I hide, can I duck like behind any wall or anything? It's like, no, that's not this type of game. Like you're literally, it's an arena, you go in and you fucking shoot the fuck out of them or you die. And like again, you want to punch them, you want to use your melee a lot. You're constantly rewarded with ammo and stuff and all that. Like it's a very quick, fast-paced shooter. Like it did come off as a surprise to me.
It kind of echoes the sentiments that I've been hearing the whole time. Is just the way they presented this game in the trailers and in the deep dive on I think it was an Xbox Developers Direct that they had. They showcased this game on, if I'm not mistaken, kind of showcased this game in a different light, and it kind of like sprung into like out of the normal indie stratosphere because of that. And then you're seeing all of these responses to it. This isn't really the game y'all promised. I also just don't know if Boomer Shooter is the genre of game that services the vibe they're going for well enough. Like the gameplay feels like it's a little at odds, because when I think of detectives, I don't think of run and gun. I don't think of a Boomer Shooter. So it is a bit of an odd choice. I thought I got a little. I don't know if I got the full Boomer Shooter vibe from it, but I definitely thought it was going to have a heavy amount of shooting. It definitely looked like it was going to emphasize really cool boss fights and a lot of like them throwing enemies at you. But I guess I expected more from the rest of the gameplay, the detective elements of it. Like the sneak, there being some level of stealth, some level of actual detective work, of the gathering the clues actually mattering in a real way, and I think that's why the gameplay just falls so short.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing where it is like a it's like, how do you market this game? It's like, well, I don't know. It seems like they did correctly. It's just, it is one of those things, exactly, you kind of nailed it, where it's just like, does that kind of game like serve well to what the game should be, like the vibes of it all? I mean, I don't know. Me personally, no, because like, again, it's I keep wanting to talk about Cuphead, where it's just like, Cuphead is very much like a run and gun kind of game, and it's like, I don't know, the gameplay loop of that game just served that art style and the whimsy a little bit more there. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It is like a similar game still, because you are just jumping in, getting your ass kicked, and shooting a lot, but in a completely different way too. Like, I don't know.
More importantly, well, I mean, maybe not more importantly, but like you went out and you grabbed, like, hey, we didn't talk about this, but Troy Baker as the voice of Jack Pepper, your lead character.
Yeah.
Which points at like what I kind of expected this game to be, was like a cool 30s noir, like maybe Uncharted-esque style game. Like where you do have these cool like puzzle solving mechanics with shooting mechanics. Like, and that's kind of what I expected with this on an indie scale. And I don't think they definitely didn't deliver on that idea.
You kind of asked me, and then, sorry, Enrico, but you asked like where I was at with the story, and like I just it was kind of whatever for me. Like, where did you fall on that? Like, were you invested? Did you care? Was there a point where you were just like skipping dialogue and stuff, or?
Absolutely not. No, I love the dialogue. I loved the every bit of dialogue that came in. I think the voice performances in this game are amazing. Troy Baker is the guy as a voice in the industry, and like he showcases again here why. Like it's so good, and I think the story is fun. Again, the gameplay makes it overstay its welcome a little bit, and you don't feel like you're progressing at a pace that feels comfortable. It feels a little slow and sluggish, but I think the story overall is very fun. The story of like them, like it basically deals with three main cases: the disappearance of a magician, the murder of an actress in Tinseltown, and then the disappearance of a subsect of the populace called the Shrews, which is absolutely an allegory to the Jews and the Holocaust, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that in the slightest.
I love the Tinseltown stuff, like that being like the old school Hollywood too. That was cool. Anyway, let's get Enrico back on, see what else he says.
Given this, I tried to enjoy it as a boomer shooter. I've really liked the two Doom games, for example, and I say two Doom games because I didn't really enjoy Eternal. But the recent Doom games, I appreciate it, especially because as boomer shooters, they created a lot of depth in the shooting mechanics, which is kind of a staple for a boomer shooter. And Mouse P.I doesn't do that. I mean, you can power up your weapons, you can have alt fire, but is it really an alt fire? For most of the weapons, it's not. There's also a really strong imbalance between weapons. A couple of them, especially, are incredibly powerful, while a couple of them are basically useless. You're unlocking weapons up until very late in the game as well. And I feel like boomer shooters should offer some interesting maps and traversal opportunities, while Mouse P.I is very, very straightforward. This brings me to my second point, which is the structure of the levels and the game itself. There's no level select, which is kind of a strange thing not to add. But the structure of the levels themselves, I replayed the first couple of levels just to see if I remembered correctly. They're basically all the same. So it's a small hub, corridor, small hub, corridor, big hub, corridor, small hub, and then the cycle continues. It's very lazy. It's very lazy level design wise, especially because the levels start to feel too long very, very early in the game. And the game itself is incredibly long. Like I've wanted it to probably last half of the time I spent on it, because I wasn't really enjoying it, but also because it feels very, very long. Too long for my taste. Not only as a game, but within the levels themselves. The third thing would be, and I hope the final thing, I hope I'm...
Yep, I mean, we pretty much echoed his sentiments there. I think overall it seems like he did still enjoy it less, but any comments there? I mean, I pretty much agree with everything he said. It's just
Yeah, he's nailing it.
yeah.
So the level design from a game, again, it's the odds of the gameplay versus the sauce, because I think the level design from a artistic perspective, they're amazing. They're so fun to look
Yeah.
at. They're like the Tinseltown stuff, the haunted manor aspect, the swamp, the urban city, the sprawling city stuff like that. All of that is so beautiful to look at. It's so interesting and like to explore and to see all the cool little references that they throw on the wall, and like the way that they brought this world to life. And they really did. They created a really interesting world. Gameplay wise, yeah, it's a little stale. It's 100%. The game is just at odds with gameplay versus art. And these you find it a lot with games that are made by artists and the developers are kind of secondary. People talk that way about hashtag Blood. Those games kind of vibe with me though. Like I think I'm more of an artist than a developer at heart. Like I've dabbled in both, but I think based off of my differences between how I felt about Pragmata and how I feel about this one, I don't know. The art speaks to me on a way that the art of this game speaks to me in a way that the gameplay of Pragmata did.
No, that's fair. I mean, I think lazy is a harsh way to phrase this.
Yeah.
I think, because like again, like to echo what you said, like there's a lot of love and care put into the environments. Level design wise is I think where he's like talking about specifically like the corridor formula of the game, but like them choosing that this is what this game's gonna be. I don't know how else you do that. Like I don't necessarily think that it's lazy. Again, I think it is just a choice that was made, and maybe not the best one, but like I mean, that's some people enjoy these games more than others for sure. And like it feels antiquated because it's going after an antiquated design philosophy. Like he mentioned a lot of, and I brought it up several times tonight, but the Doom games, I think I equate this to the classic Doom games a lot more than the modern ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what this game is doing. And like it's not like those games were doing very interesting things level wise that this one's not. It's just like, do we really in 2026 want to be playing that game anymore? I don't know. Like some people do. again, it's just a choice. I would opt to say a different word than lazy though, because again, the artistry at display here says that that's not the case. I think.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a passion project, 100%. Like there's so
Yeah.
much love and heart put into this game. I think inexperience maybe is a better word, like for level design. I mean, it's just there's an art to level design that, from a gameplay perspective, that a lot of indie studios have to learn as they go. And I think I'm so excited to see the lessons that the studio takes from all the reviews of this game. It's doing great. Sold over 750,000 copies in its first week or something like that.
That's awesome.
So I feel like we're definitely going to see this them continue making games. We're going to see probably a follow up to this game, and I hope they innovate on it. I hope we see an evolution to the gameplay in a way we see from a lot of successful indie teams with their follow up games.
Yeah, like I said, I would love to see them make a sequel to this. I would definitely hop into it. One thing I do like about the level designs, because like I do like a good straightforward game. Like, give me some corridors, hallways, gameplays, yada yada. I don't care. That's fine. That doesn't bother me so much as like he mentioned. It just feels like the levels go on and on and on. It really is just a pacing thing for me.
Yeah.
One thing I did like was the platforming. He mentioned that he didn't really like the traversal that the game offers. I think the game offers a fun little mix up on that stuff here and there, because like there'll be random times where you'll look through a doorway that's like not all the way open. You'd be like, oh shit, there's something in there, and like you can't open the door, but then you look around like, oh shit, there's a window here, can you break the window? You break the window and now you're out on the balcony and you can hop over to this other thing. I think that kind of stuff was effective and cool. It's just like, how many times do we need to do that per level before it like wears thin? And then I didn't make it very far, but like it seemed like they started throwing in a couple of things here and there with traversal wise, like mixing it up. It's just again like the way that those are doled out is kind of a miss. But anyway, let's see. He said he has one further point. Let's see what it was.
Giving you things to discuss. The final thing is it sort of mocks the visual and narrative genre it wants to be. Because except for the animation, which is great. I mean, animation is awesome. The death animations are incredible. The variety of enemies is relatively good. Also a downside of a game when it's supposed to be a boomer shooter. But whatever. It's supposed to be a noir, right? You cannot adapt the narrative constraints and freedoms of a noir without actually adopting freedoms and constraints of noir. And one thing I've always appreciated about the noir genre, both in literature and in movies, has been that the threat of violence was always more impactful than the violence itself. Like the threat of a gun was always more powerful than a gun. And the few bullets that are shot in a noir movie or noir piece of literature of any kind are very unique in the way. Like violence is begun and ended within maybe 10 seconds. Like a shot, it's like a death you couldn't think of, or a death you could not imagine, the death of someone that is probably very important for the story and whatever. I don't think you can take the noir genre and then create a boomer shooter out of it. Like it's out of touch and kind of disrespectful to the genre itself in a way. So it's, I don't know, it's to conclude, to bring my thoughts to a conclusion. The thing that probably angers me the most about Mouse P.I, and the reason why I don't think I enjoyed it that much, is that it's like a game that wants to be liked by a specific kind of target audience and appreciated through a specific social platform lens. Like Mouse P.I for me, it's a YouTube short kind of game. A game that that you see in a 30-second video, maybe 1 minute video, and you say, "Oh, that's nice." You buy it and then you try it out. And for a kind of sunken cost fallacy, you find yourself liking it just because you spent money on it. But it's a game that plays too much on how your superficial judgment of it can be misled and can be wrong. I've spoken to a few colleagues, and a lot of them kind of feel the same way I do. Like the game sold itself wrongly to begin with, and I don't know. I feel kind of tricked. I feel kind of paraded around in a way by the game. I feel like the zeitgeist wants me to like it because a lot of people are liking it, and now because it apparently sold a lot of copies. So yeah, I didn't really like it. I'm under 10 minutes. I hope I'm offering you something to discuss. As I told you in private, Mouse P.I is my worst game of this year, and
Damn.
I'm willingly putting it into a very dark recess of my mind, and I want to forget it as quickly as possible. Cheers.
Bye, Enrico. Thanks for your thoughts. that very ending had a turn. Jeez. And like, I don't disagree with anything he's saying either. Like, well, the superficial enjoyment of it, I don't necessarily agree with. And like, I kind of maybe I see where he's coming from, because again, this isn't a game that I'm like chomping at the bit to play, but like, I'm also the type of gamer that, like, I mean, you know me, I don't need to complete games to enjoy them. Like, I play games all the time and drop them. Like, that's just kind of who I am. Yeah, exactly. Like, I completely feel fulfilled from what I got out of this game, and I disagree. I think it is still worth the price to try out. And I mean, obviously, if you're not into boomer shooters, know ahead of time that that's what this is, and like, if that still looks and sounds appealing to you, then by all means, please try it, because like, you're gonna enjoy it. I still enjoyed it. I'm definitely way more of the mind of like, everything Enrico said is right, but I still had a great time. Like, and yeah, still hope to see more from these guys. Mm. My bad. I forgot to unmute my Ryan.
But yeah, I think the word disrespectful is a tad much in terms of, like, you know, being a noir detective game and then also being a boomer shooter. I totally get the idea of, like, you know, the threat of the gun is more dangerous than the actual gun itself in the classic noir tales. And I appreciate, like, I appreciate Dennis and Enrico's like perspectives when it comes to reviewing games. They definitely have a different like lens than you and I do, coming from a developer background. And it's honestly it's a nice privilege that we get to, you know, to do this podcast with them and to hear their perspectives and how they approach reviewing games and what they look at. But like, from you know, someone who really enjoyed this game, yeah, I do think they are at odds with each other. The boomer shooter and noir things are at odds with each other. Do I think it's disrespectful to noir as a genre to do it this way? No, I think it's a fun take. I think they were thinking outside the box. They wanted to make a game. They probably got a lot of fans of Doom on this development team. And they probably have a lot of fans of noir detective mysteries on this team, and they decided to combine those things. I don't think choosing to combine two things that don't typically go together is disrespectful. I think being creative is never a bad thing. I think this game should have been shorter, for sure. That's my biggest critique with it. Is either you got to be a shorter game or you got to innovate on your gameplay style a little more, and you got to offer more than what you offered. But I think there's some colorful language in there that I think is just it's just a little too over the top.
Yeah, and yeah, I do think a lot of his criticisms are valid. I don't disagree the language thing, because like we mentioned earlier, the lazy word I wouldn't necessarily agree with. I feel like Enrico also just in general is way more of a mechanics guy. Like he's way more into mechanics in video games, and like I don't know, like you said, like you and I mean, me personally, like I go off of vibes pretty hard on games, like, and that's the thing with this one is like I love the vibes, but it does ask a lot to play it. Like it's not like a mixtape, which we're about to talk about, where it asks almost nothing out of the player and is all vibes. Like that's more my bag for sure than this. But like I don't know, I feel like whenever you have a gameplay loop like a Cuphead, it just draws me in more, and like I'm way more engaged with the gameplay, and it doesn't bother me that it is just kind of the same thing over and over again. This is just not my bag, gameplay wise. And I think the story was whatever, but like that's again, I do agree the performances were great. It's just like at some point I was just like, yeah, I don't care anymore. I don't whatever. Get to the next thing, and yeah, eventually fell off.
I think the story is fun. I think the world that they're building here is really interesting. I want to see them like dig deeper into that and maybe enhance the gameplay mechanics in a little bit. I'd be honestly, if Mouse P.I. 2 is a rehash of this same gameplay style, but it's condensed into a shorter experience with a more condensed story, or maybe a more straightforward story, I could still be fine with that as well. I think there's some avenues here, some really fun stuff that they could do. This is so for not spoiler or anything, but this game takes place in 1934 after the end of World War One, and like
the Quite Big Affair,
the Quite Big Affair, and ramping up. So Jack in this game laments very frequently about how he's just tired of everything. He's tired of the old world. He's ready to lay back. And man, boy, 7 years. You got 7 years. It's 1934. 7 years is supposed to be a really bad time for you, Jack.
That's a really good idea, actually. That'd be great.
Yeah, it is. Me and Sydney were talking about this. It was like, man, that would be a really interesting way to view this, because you have Steve Bandel is the magician in this game, and then you've got what's Cornelius. I can't remember his last name. Is a political figure, and Jack is war buddies with these guys, and they throughout the game they talk about their experiences in the trenches of World War One, or the Quite Big Affair One, and like being buddies and friends or whatever, and their history together. And I think expanding on that and then delving into the idea of like, I don't know, maybe can you do that take, like, can you cartoonize World War II?
It is
already done video games with it, but
it is harder to, but like, yeah, you can. Should you? I don't know.
The fact that they were like doing the Shrews Jews thing is very like, it was like the balls, right? Like he's like, but also like they did it really well. I feel like they captured the essence of everything, and like the world that they built feels genuine. Like it feels like I'm in a mouse infested version of the 1930s. And it's really cool. It's a really fun world to step into. I think you should not step into it for 24 hours or 20-ish hours. But
yeah,
I enjoyed my time with it. I wish it was that time was a little less, but overall, I think an 8 it sums up where I feel about this game for sure.
Yeah, and I might would feel different if I did continue playing it. Maybe for worse. I'm not sure because it sounds like Enrico probably made it further than I did too. But maybe for the better even because like I said, the gameplay starts to kind of evolve a little bit. Just unlocking things and whatnot.
Yeah, there's some really awesome set pieces late in the game too. So.
Nice. Yeah, it depends. I don't know. This year's looking way too stacked for me to jump back into it.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. That being said, like the length thing is definitely a pacing issue, but also like I'm finding myself like enjoying shorter games way more nowadays. Like Pragmata was a great time to jump in for like what 10-12 hours, maybe a little more than that. I don't remember exactly, but like
yeah.
Toward the end of that game, I was feeling like, oh, hope this game wraps up pretty soon, and then it did. And then me being like, man, I hope this game wraps up pretty soon, and find out I'm like halfway there. I'm like, oof, oh, okay. It's like, unless you're like, I mean, I'm a sicko for like the Hollow Knight. Like that game could have gone on for 300 more hours, and I would have loved it. But like, it takes a very special game to take me out of that mindset of like shorter is better. But I mean, that's maybe a me thing too.
Yeah, I feel that. And look, games aren't for everybody. I mean, that's the great thing about how many games are coming out in these recent years. It's just everybody's journey throughout the year looks different. Everybody's like gaming adventure through 2026. All four of us really. It's going to look vastly different, and it's going to be kind of awesome. It's really cool when we can overlap like this and find games to play together and talk about. But like, the fact that we get to pick and choose what we want to play throughout the year with such a plethora of games coming out is a privilege for sure.
Yeah, and we're looking to still do a Saros review, I think.
Yep.
Yeah,
I've already started dipping my toes into that one. Man, I'm not even gonna. We won't say nothing else. But man,
yeah. And I know we're probably gonna slow down on the reviews for a little bit because I know Dennis wanted to jump into a few different things. This is the Famiriety show, so we'll probably step back from them for a little bit. But like, there's nothing to stop like me and you from being like, hey, fuck Dennis, we're gonna review this game together and do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But after this, we're doing mixtape. Then we're doing Saros, and then from there, yeah, we'll just stay tuned. But you want to close this out on this one?
Yep. We're gonna separate these up. So we'll kind of sort of end this one here, and we'll jump back in for our mixtape review. So I guess we'll do an awkward wave goodbye before
wave goodbye. And final word, yeah. Play the game.
Yeah,
it's fun.
play
Support
the
these
game.
guys.
It'll go on sale. You'll get it on streaming services. Like it at some point. This is a PS Plus game coming. At some point. So definitely give it a shot if you got the funds. If you like noir. If you like boomer shooters. So see y'all later.
Goodbye, everybody.